Okay, I'm going to say three names that are going to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Owen Hargraves,
Yeah.
Jonathan de Guzman, and Asmir Begovic.
In part one, we profiled Jackson's career in England, but with so little mainstream coverage of the national team, we wanted to reach deeper into the Canadian camp.
Whereas, one time when I was younger, watching games, it's like, oh no, we're gonna get tanked. But now I was a bit more of a lot more positive in the way we're playing and attacking and trying to win games. So a lot of work to be done, but I believe, we're heading in the right path.
Jackson received his Canadian passport only a week before the Under-20 World Cup in 2007, and despite Canadian crowds supporting the tournament in record numbers, Dale Mitchell's side suffered a disastrous campaign, failing to score a single goal.
It's hard, I can't even tell you now what went wrong. It was definitely, it hurt, especially a lot of, if you speak to any other guys who are in that team, looking at it now, we're just like, man, it's kind of disappointing, and I think a lot of us kind of, if you get the opportunity again, to play at home or to play in another big tournament like that, I don't think it'll come along again to play a World Cup in Canada, but to kind of play for Canada again and kind of put it right in the future is kind of where I'm looking, because that is still stuck in my head, and it will do for a long time.
Jackson admitted that coming out to a pro-Chilean crowd for the opening game in Toronto had a devastating effect on the team.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, especially we had a friendly game before that against Argentina, and it just felt like we didn't know where we were, man. There was more Argentinians than Canadians, and I think that's the sad part right now. But that just shows you how rich in culture Canada is, especially in Ontario and Toronto, and it's one of those things. I think the results will help sway those fans, because if we're doing well, you'll find that in any team as well. The better we do at Gillingham, the more fans come out. So I think, over the next year or so, the games, I think to get those results and do well will kind of help persuade whoever's on the fence. Because, I bet there's a lot of people that those games will come up and they'll think, who am I gonna support? But then they think, oh, this is a better team, so, I'll support them. So I think, as I said, those games coming up are going to be very important in the future.
Now a regular member of the Canadian senior team, Jackson has joined a chorus of players in singing the praises of newly appointed manager Stephen Hart.
In the camp right now, the last camp that I went to, it's good. It was unsettling a little bit because we didn't know if Steve was going to get the job, and he gave me my first cap and my first game, and for the Gold Cup as well, and for the younger ones as well. I think it's a very, very positive thing.
As Canada head towards the qualifying campaign for the 2014 World Cup, Jackson is confident that his generation can deliver.
There's a lot of work to be done, especially if we're looking to qualify for a World Cup, and I think the core of the team now, and there's a lot of guys that are coming through and breaking through. I think the age, when the next World Cup comes around and stuff, I think I'll be, I don't know how old I'll be. I'll be old, but it'll help. Hopefully, the younger players will have matured, and there'll be the right mix.
Jackson grew up just outside Toronto, and his desire to play games at home is obvious. But he was adamant that Canada shouldn't be afraid to use its home ice advantage.
Me being from Mississauga, obviously you want to see a lot of games in Toronto, but if you're gonna bring the Mexicans to Edmonton and letting them freeze is gonna get you results, and that's what you got to do. It's about getting the results and winning games, and yeah, you have to make it difficult for teams like that, because they're really good, and if that's the little edge that we can get, might as well go with it and see how we get on.
As the interview drew to a close, we asked the question that nobody wants to answer: how does the national team deal with losing so many of its best players to other nations?
It's down to, as I said, the individual. If you grow up and you have a lot of ties to the country and you feel like you want to play for them, by all means, go ahead, and it's kind of a decision you made, and it's not really gonna come in between, how we talk and stuff. So it's one of those things, a lot of players, and I think you'll find that a lot of the young players coming up, there'll be a lot more of that, especially in Canada. There's a lot of players who have, a lot of dual nationalities, and they're gonna be faced with the decision of picking one of the countries, and it's tough, you know, it's tough, it's not easy, but you kind of have to just go where your heart takes you, really.
As a current Canadian star, Jackson realizes that the way the team performs now will go a long way towards keeping Canada's future talent.
As being in the national team now, you know, the results that you get kind of impact on younger players. You know, when you're doing well and you're winning games, a lot of young players will be like, yeah, you know, I want to play for Canada kind of thing. Because for me personally, the major thing for me was seeing when we won the Gold Cup. You know, watching that on TV and seeing that, it's just like, yeah, you know, that's what it's about really, and especially because we haven't really had that kind of success. You know, it's I think that in the future is going to be really important.
We were just about to wrap things up, but Jackson left us with something that every Canadian supporter wants to hear. It seems that Simeon, amongst others, is doing his part to keep Blackburn's Junior Hoylett in Canadian colors.
Yeah, we were trying to tap into him actually. Funny you say that. Yeah, you know, as we said earlier, you know, it's kind of those things you have to make the decision for yourself, but we are trying to tap into him to make sure he comes on our side. So yeah, it's good, especially seeing as, you know, we played when we were younger, and to play in the same national team now, you know, can only help us really.